Hey, so today I will explain how to play. I'll show you how to play Cyclades, a game set in the mythical ancient Greek history. The the point of the game, or how you win, is by constructing two metropolis, basically huge cities that are a combination of four major buildings. Well, they are actually only buildings in the game, so I'm just preparing everything because I'm a fucking amateur, but bear with me. So, Cyclades, it's a very fun game. Has great miniatures. It's a grand strategy in a way. Not very complicated, so everybody can play it. And it's basically one of my favorite games ever. So, how to play it? It has a lot of stuff. The setup is, it's not very slow to set up, but again, it has a lot of components, so it does require maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So yeah. As I said, the goal of the game is to construct two metropolis, and the first one that constructs them has to wait the entire turn cycle in order to claim victory, because somebody can construct or take one of your metropolises while the cycle is going. So you'll see what I mean by cycle. As I've shown you here, I've set up, I think. I forgot something very important. Hold on. Okay, so I've set up the two. It's a 5-player game, and two of the races or factions you can play are Sparta. Here they are, and I think this is Athens. Yeah, I think this is Athens. Yeah, Athens. Maybe, I'm not sure. In any case, so as you can see, this is the board for 5 players. Since I'm gonna show you how to play the game, I've set up for only 2 players. As you can see, these sort of covering sheets or whatever, reference sheets, or you put them in front of you like this, and you can see every major thing in the game here, what all the gods do, what are your options on your turn, and so on and so on. The monsters are here as well, so this is very helpful. So yeah, okay. Each player starts with 5 gold. These are the coin tokens, as you can see. And again, he starts with, or she starts with, a number of soldiers and a number of ships, in this case 2, for each faction. And they start on different islands, as you can see, and it's important to mention that every island is a single territory. For instance, as you can see, the entire map is split in split in areas, and each area is a circle. But the islands, the sea spaces are circles. The islands are counted as a single territory. Some of them are 3 circles, some of them are 2, some of them are 1, but still, they all count as a single territory. This is important. Alright, so how do you proceed with the game? To set up the game, you have to set up for everyone, of course. And one thing to mention is that the monster cards here, they have a special rule for the first cycle. The special rule is when when you start the game, you have to take one monster from the deck and place it on the first space. On the second cycle, this monster moves like this, and then you draw a new monster. And so on and so on. And when actually there become 3, on the third cycle, you can basically have the option to choose between to buy 3 monsters. When the fourth cycle comes, this is discarded, and then this new monster is revealed. Okay. So, how does the cycle go? First thing you have to do with each cycle is to set up the monsters, as I showed you right now. The second thing is to place the gods. These are the god tiles. As you can see, you have Athena, my favorite goddess, Zeus, Poseidon, and Ares. Athena kicked his ass in. Was it Homer's? Yeah, but he did at one point. So you mix them, and then you place them in this order. You draw the first one, you draw the second. Sorry. As I said, you draw the first one and place the first god on the first slot, top to bottom. Second god, then you draw the third, the fourth, and Apollo is always here. So, by the way, when you set up the gods, you always have to place 1 coin for Apollo and 1 prosperity marker. Oh, excuse me. If a player takes the first space, let me show you. If the player takes the first space in Apollo, on Apollo, he takes the coin and the prosperity marker. Every other player receives just 1 coin. If a player has only 1 island, he takes 4 coins instead of 1. It could be the first player that sets on Apollo, or the second or the third, but if he has she has 1 island, they take 4 coins, which is good because it balances out the game in a way. Again, this is a very it's not a hard game, but it's a very hard game to win at, because mostly all players all through the game are like very similar to each other in terms of strength and economics and so on. And it all depends on how quick you act. This is the real deal. So, this is the god cycle. You shuffle the god tiles, and then you place them like this, from top to bottom. So, the third cycle is revenue. You get money for the islands you command, and if those islands have prosperity markers, like this one, you see? This island has 2. So this player that controls this island receives 2 gold coins. And this is not the revenue. The revenue phase is excluded from the first turn, of course. Yes. Okay, so you can upgrade your islands by placing more prosperity markers you get from Apollo. So, focus. Okay, so you can place a prosperity marker here on an island. You could place it on a sea territory as well, and you will claim 1 gold coin. Because if you own the territory, by own I mean you have to have a ship on it, like this. If black has a ship on this territory, black controls the prosperity marker. Also, there are, besides the islands, some sea spaces have default prosperity markers, And these are trade routes. If you control a trade route by placing a ship on it, you basically get one gold coin at the revenue phase. Okay, so the next phase is the, how can I say, the most interesting. Players. By the way, I forgot to tell you, but the player turn is determined by who was first the last time. Of course, this is not impossible. This is impossible to determine if this is the first turn of the game. But if this is the second, whoever placed first last game, chose a god first. For instance, this is the first god, second god, third god, and fourth god, fifth god. So if red placed first and black second in the previous round, then at the second round, the black player will start first and the red player will start second. So, what happens when it comes to the phase where you have to offer or sacrifice, or basically money to the gods? Well, you basically start betting for those positions. This is the first position, so this player plays first, this player plays second, this player takes, of course, takes the god and all its special abilities and plays third and fourth and so on. So, if black places here at 1 gold coin, let me show you, like if black places here, that means he's offering 1 gold coin to Poseidon. So what the other player can do is place his token on any other god position, but he can place and outbid black, which means that black has to immediately choose a new god. So, and he cannot bet on the same god. This is the rule. You cannot bet on the same god if you have been outbidden on it by another player. So he has to choose another god. He chooses maybe Athena. Since there are only 2 players in this tutorial I'm trying to give you, it makes no difference. But still, if there are more than 2 players, the rules apply as I told them to you. So you cannot bet on the same god, you have to choose a new god, and you can outbid other players, and they immediately have to make a decision about a new god. So, you pay you're offering to the gods in coins, but you can, this happens when your turn comes, of course. So for instance, red is first, so he plays, he has to pay 2 gold coins for Poseidon because he played on he outbid black and he played on the position of 2, which means 2 gold coins. So red can now use the powers of Poseidon. And here, in this section, I'll explain what every god does. And then I'll explain what else you can do on your turn when you have selected a god with powers. For instance, Poseidon. As you can see, Poseidon provides you with 1 free ship. He can also provide you with 3 additional ships if you pay the cost of, well, in this case, 6. For 1 additional ship, the cost is 1. For 2, 2. And for 3, 3. You can also use Poseidon to move your fleet. And when you move your fleet, you are allowed to pick up fleet that are on your way. For instance, let's follow this black. Like here, black he's allowed to move 3 times because he paid 1 gold coin. So he has to move his ship. Well, he wants to move his ship. So he makes his first move here. He makes his first move here and he picks up this fleet. This ship. Then he combines this fleet with this second fleet on his turn, last and third move on the sea space. So he makes 3 jumps. 1, takes this ship. 2, takes this ship. So he combines this fleet. He's not. You are not. How can I say? You don't have to do it. You're not made to do that. You can just jump 3 times with 1 ship. Of course, it's your choice. But you are allowed to pick up fleet or leave fleet. For instance, if I have 4 ships here, I move 3 here, 2 here. I left a trail of 2 ships. Now remember, ships are very important because they connect islands. For instance, if I want to move to this island, I place 1, and I have my fleet here. I can move 1 ship here, and then I have now a route, so I can travel to this island and fight this enemy. So ships are very important, an integral part in order for your troops to jump from island to island. Okay, so this is Poseidon in terms of ships. Poseidon has 1 last skill. For 2 coins, you can build a port. You build buildings on the white spaces shown on the islands. For instance, here or here. So, what does a port do? A port provides a defensive bonus when you are attacked. So, for instance, if you have like a fleet next to your island with a port, the port could be here. It will still provide the bonus. So if you have a fleet close to an island with a port, that is a friendly port, of course, when you are attacked by, let's say, how can I say? Okay, try 4 ships. If you're attacked by 4 ships, you get 1 defensive bonus, which means that the enemy has a power of 4 and you have a power of 4, but plus 1 defense bonus from the port, which means you have a power of 5. Then you throw the special dice. Where did I leave it? Hold on. Oh, here they are. Then you throw the special dice and they determine the victor. But notice that the dice are only from 1 to 3. So it's 3, 2, 0, and 1. You still have the defensive bonus, and you both throw dices. For instance, this hand, in the left hand, I'll throw for the red one, and in my right hand, I'll throw for the black force, or Spartans. Okay, for the Spartans, I got 1, and for the Athenians, I got 1. So this is right now 5 to 6. This is the same way the land battles are fought, actually. Well, you do have monsters, but that's a different story. Monsters do provide modifications, but I'm not gonna cover them because you can read their special abilities before you buy them, so they're not part of the how to play in this case. So this is a power of 5, and this is a power of 6 now. So you basically have to kill 1 red ship because black force has 1 more point in power, and now red force can decide to retreat or continue fighting. The battle continues until one of the 2 enemies is annihilated, or in one case, if both enemies are annihilated. But in this case, the defender has a defense bonus, which means that even if both ships are defeated or both land warriors are defeated, the defender keeps his territory or whatever. In this case, an island or a sea space with a prosperity marker. Okay. So, this is what Poseidon provides. A building, and ships, and movement for ships. The next god, Ares, is very similar, but he does the same thing as Poseidon does, but for land units. Also, you have to notice that the land units are a bit more expensive than the ships, and the island hopping could be done at a greater range. For instance, if I have ships here, and ships here, I can basically hop with this unit. This is the chain. I can basically hop from this unit, from this island to this island. This is allowed, and this is considered one turn. Iris also provides a fort. The fort is a very useful thing. It provides one defense bonus for land battles, which means that if you are attacked by an enemy, for instance in this case like this, Black Force has +1, which means 2 military power, and Red Force has 1. Again, dice are thrown, and the victor is decided the same way as sea battles are decided. I don't think there's something I should mention about battles here. Okay. So, on your turn... I'm gonna continue with the gods. The next god is Athena. Athena provides a philosopher. What is a philosopher? A philosopher is this card here. If you collect 4 of those, you get to have an instant metropolis. So this is a powerful card. This is the only thing that card does, but it's a really powerful one. Also, she provides 1 additional philosopher for 4 gold coins, because you can do both. You can buy a university, I think, yes, which is an integral part of any metropolis. Okay. So, the last god that is in a token form is, of course, Zeus. Zeus provides 1 priest and 1 additional priest for 4 gold coins. And priests are very important. They come from, you take them from here. This is a designated spot for priests. What does a priest do? Well, what does a priest do? It lowers the cost for betting on the gods. 1 priest is equal to 1 gold coin. So, for instance, if you have 2 priests, you basically have 2 gold coins when you bet on the gods. So you can basically play. You can never ever bet on 1 and not give money. You have to at least place on 3 in this case, because you have 2 priests, which basically give you a discount. But you always have to play. You always have to pay at least 1 gold coin when you bet on the gods. So priests are very useful. The other special ability of Zeus is that he, for 1 gold coin, can remove any monster from the monster track. So if I pay 1 gold coin, I will be able to discard any monster I like. Which is great, because some monsters can really screw your strategy. Okay. So, the last thing you can do with this is buy a temple, which lowers the cost of monsters. Like, if you have 2 temples placed on your islands, you can buy monsters at -2 gold coins discount, which is great. Remember, you have to have all 4 buildings on your islands to build a metropolis. As soon as you have the 4th building, you discard those tokens and get a metropolis token. Remember that the Metropolis tokens and you place it on the red marked area on your island. You see this red line here? This means that this island has a metropolis, and the metropolis provides all the bonuses of the buildings you had, which means that it provides the defensive bonus at sea for the port that's represented in the port. The fortress provides one defense on land battle. The temple provides a discount for monsters, and the the university provides nothing. This is the only building that doesn't have any bonuses, but it's needed to construct the metropolis. So, the last god is Apollo, as I explained, and he's a bit special in a good way. He is, how can I say? He is the default action if you do not have any other strategic options, which is not always bad because he provides money, which is great. And you can always use the money accumulated, like if you play like 2 turns or 3 turns on Apollo, you can always then use the money you've accumulated because you will get prosperity markers. You can place them on your island, and you can always use that money to just basically crush your enemies later on. So, or outbid them because you have a lot more money than they do. Okay, so on your turn, when you're done with your god, for instance, the red one is done with the red player is done with Poseidon. They can now buy creatures. They can buy creatures as long as they as many as they wish. I mean, from the available creatures, of course. They cannot turn any cards from the deck to the slots, but they can buy all 3 creatures if they wish to and use their abilities. So I'm not gonna explain the abilities for the creatures because they're in this reference book. It's really nicely done. Remember one thing though, when you buy creatures, you have them only for one turn. So some creatures are sort of special, like the Kraken. The Kraken you get, and you can move with it by paying, and you can destroy enemy fleet. But once you're done with it, it stays at the territory where you placed it last. So this is a very good blocker for like to protect your islands from invasion and so on. Every other creature is only used once a turn, and after the cycle is done, you have to return the creature back to the discard pile. So let me see if I'm missing something. I think I explained everything. I think I did. Yes. Yeah, I think I explained everything. So, at the end of the round, each round, you check, I mean the group you're playing with, everybody checks if they have 2 metropolises. If they do, metropolises, I don't know. If they do, the game ends and they're a winner. If more than one player have 2 metropolises, then the game is decided by the factor of who has more money than the other, and so on and so on. It's all described in the rules, so you can check that in detail. And basically that's it. That's how you play Cyclades. Thanks for all the support, and I hope you like this new how can I say, this new thing I'm doing. I'll try to make more episodes, but remember that I'll be doing them in English and Bulgarian. I'm sorry if sometimes I stutter or well, I don't speak fluently. It's because I'm quite nervous when I do this, so please excuse me. In any case, I hope you liked it, and I hope this will be useful to you, because you can just sit back and relax and just watch it and then have the rules explained to you, and you can basically impress your friends by explaining them really fast, I guess. So, thank you and goodbye.